Hello.
Hello. This is a live on GGR Facebook, and Jean-Luc and I have already been having lots of laughs about some of the things that he didn't know happened while we're here running the show and he's out there sailing. Anyway, and I've got no idea. We came in early and no idea what we're really going to talk about, so we'll just talk about things. And Jean-Luc just told me we're actually on the side of a bus, so I didn't know about this, but Uku and Istvan are going to come. And Le Sable d'Olonne do the little artworks and stuff, and I just thought it was for Facebook, but now Jean-Luc just told me we're on the side of the buses here.
Yes, so I was following a bus and I saw that Istvan and Uku were arriving.
Okay, so the GGR's made it big time.
Yes.
We're quite famous now. Anyway, this is just I'm interested in, I know a fair bit about your background. We've known each other for a long time, but there's still things that I don't even know. One thing that I do know, I should have got it. Hang on, I'll see if I can get this. No, I can't. Yes, I can. I've actually got my own copy of the original Paris match, which had the Bernard Matessier story in it from 1969. Jesse bought me this in Paris for €5. It's a pristine mint copy. Okay, and here, this whole deal was a big inspiration for you.
Yes.
That got you into sailing, and then for some reason you decided to do the mini transat. What was the deal there? What stage? How old were you? And
no, the reason to do the mini transat was that it was the first race where I was able, the first transatlantic race where I was able to win. Because in the other transat, you need to have a lot of money, you need to have a lot of very big boat and so on.
Yeah.
It was the years where Alain Collat has a 70 meters, 70 Club Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It was 70 meters, it was like a cargo ship.
Yeah.
And you cannot fight if you have no money with that. So Bob Salmon decided to build a race for the poor people, who
the poor people.
No. And so I enter in that because it was 6.5 meters, and that is very cheap. And I had a 40 feet boat at that time. I designed the boat and I built the boat by myself. In steel.
And this is just for crew racing or cruising?
It was just for cruising and to live on the boat. We live on the boat during 2 years with my family. And during that time, I was preparing this boat, and Bob Salmon created the first mini transat for 6.5 meters boat. So I go to see the yard who were building that. I was a little bit known in Lorient with sailmaker Victor Tonnerre and so on. So he presented me to the yard, he presented me to the designer. He said, well, perhaps it's a good thing to borrow a Muscadet for that.
Yeah.
And they give me a Muscadet. And my deal, there was 5 Muscadet in the race.
Right.
And the deal was that I must arrive first of the Muscadet and to arrive in the 5 first boats. So I make the deal, I arrive fourth.
So that means if you did it, you would get to keep the boat, or they just
no,
didn't have to hire the boat?
No, they just invite me to sell boats in the boat show.
Okay.
And my boat was in the boat show. It was very funny because there was a new Muscadet for sale, and there was my boat close to the new Muscadet, and they look like the same. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a plywood boat, right?
Yes,
it was a
it's
plywood
boat. Yes.
An iron keel. Did it have an iron keel?
Yes, with a little keel, 1.1 meter.
Yeah.
And he was not 6.5 meter. He was a little bit under this size.
Yeah.
And his waterline length was a lot
tiny.
under than that.
You can still Google it, If you Google Muscadet, you'll see the boats.
Yes.
Funny story with Bob Salmon. His son was the first person I ever sponsored.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in Sydney, and this guy turns up in this little 20-foot boat, not a mini boat, just this little old cruising boat, and he had nothing on board, and he wanted to sail across to New Zealand, and he didn't have anything. He was just a sextant. This was back in the 70s, and so in the end, I bought him a cheap watch, a bunch of safety gear, life jacket and bits and pieces and so on, and sent him off, and he finally got across the other side. Funny story anyway, that led to a lot of other things later on. Okay, so that was kind of fun, and then eventually the next big one for you that I know of, because you did other transatlantic, didn't you?
Yes, I do the second transatlantic with Philippe Harley. We make special boat to do the second mini transat.
Yeah.
And I built my boat, he built his own boat. We both built the boat together, Gros Plan.
Yeah.
The Gros Plan is a wine which look like a Muscadet, you know. So all the
still a chine boat sort of thing.
Oh yes, it was plywood also.
Plywood, yeah. How big was it?
But bigger, 6.5 meters with a bigger water line, a little bit wider. Higher mast. We were the highest mast at the arriving, not at the start, but at the arriving we were the highest mast.
The others fell down, did they?
And it was fun. And I arrived second there, and Philippe arrived fourth with our two boats.
Okay.
And it was the first real mini transat boat win American Express, who was like the boat like they are today, with ballast and with.
So what was the drive then? What was the deal? Was it the adventure? Was it the competitive sailing? Was it just the solo thing? Like, how would you describe why you were into it at that stage?
It was a race.
It was just a race.
It was just a race, but it was a transatlantic race, and it was interesting. There was plenty of good boats, plenty of good skipper. Bruno Perron in the first one, Loïc Perron in the second one, Lionel Péan, Daniel Gillard who win, Alvar Mabir. There was plenty of sailors which were very good. And, very interesting.
So even back then, to categorise it, there's the race, which is the competition and so on. Then there's the building and the preparing of the boat and getting ready for the challenge. Which is more satisfying, the preparing and getting ready, or the actual race? Both the same, yeah. Okay.
Yes, I like to prepare the boat because it is a very important part.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people don't realise that.
And when I do something, I try to do as best as possible. It is why I buy the Rustler 36 in 2015, because I want time to be prepared and to test the boat and to test the sails and so on.
Okay, so then you get into the BOC challenge. Okay, the first one.
Yes.
So the second one. It was the second BOC, but it was your first.
Yes, because in the when I finished the mini transat, it was in '79. And the first BOC was in 82. And when I had no sponsor for the mini transat, so I had to pay my boat, and it was expensive. And I had no money to buy another boat to enter in the BOC, because I thought the mini transat was too short. I will love a race a little bit longer. So I buy the old Brittany ferries in 83, just after the arriving of the BOC, the first BOC.
I didn't know that was Brittany ferries that went across and did the Ostar and stuff.
Yes,
I didn't realise that.
It was Brittany ferries.
And
after Hervé Laurent buys the boat, it was a Sweden 55, Swedish boat, very narrow, 2.55 meter. 2.55 meter. Which is
was
very narrow for 14 meters.
Yeah, no, I remember it well, because that's when I first met you. You know.
I buy this boat. At that time, it was Hervé Laurent, who was in the Vendée Globe and so on, who owned the boat, and they win with the boat also. It was the first French boat in the Eurostar at that time. And it was a very good boat.
So you bought that out of your own money and then went looking for sponsors? And
I didn't find sponsor.
No, you were let's go. The
boat is still let's
so
go.
You did that.
Today it is still let's go.
It's funny because people call you a professional now, which you are, right? But people think it's always because of the money. They don't realise the struggle that happens along the way. You know, it's like you say, you good luck. You make your own luck because it goes.
I make my own luck. Yes. I buy the boat by myself. So I have little helps because I rent the boat to companies to make some races before the BOC and after the BOC. I make sailing school with the boat and so on.
Yeah, trying to make a quid.
And I go cruising in the States. When I arrive in the States before the race, I was ready when I crossed the Atlantic to go in Newport. And my wife and children come and we go for a cruising during 15 days. Just before the BOC.
Yeah, okay. So that was 86. Then you went straight to Vendée.
Yes. Yeah. When we talk, when we were in Australia with Philippe Gentot, Titouan Lamazou, Jean-Yves Terlin,
I remember that.
and we say, well, the race of Robin Johnson is a lot more interesting because there is no stop. It costs less because the stop for the other cost a lot of money. Not for me,
I can still remember the conversation when Ian Cannon finished. And Philippe was there, and you were there, and Titouan Lamazou were standing at Birkenhead Point, and we were there, and the conversation came up. I can just imagine. I can still see that brick building, behind us. It's really funny, Anyway.
And Philippe Gentot. So you have to know also that Jean-Yves Terlin and Titouan Lamazou tried to make a big race, a big event with plenty of money and so on, but they cannot arrive to find the money. And Philippe Gentot on his other side go and ask Crédit Agricole, Vendée and so on, and it is like it starts. But the first Vendée Globe, if you know the story of the Vendée Globe, 3 months before, it was not sure that it starts. The Fédération Française of Sailing was not
FFV.
Yes, the FFV was not for that. Because it was a single-handed race. And the sponsors they put very little money.
That sounds familiar.
And I can tell you a story. We have to be there about 5 weeks before the start.
5 weeks?
5 weeks.
Holy dooly.
At that time. And so it was in the race rules. And so I start from Lorient to be here exactly 5 weeks before the start, like the rules say.
Absolutely, very good.
So when I arrived, there was just 2 boats. The South African guy, Bertie Reed, and the American guy, Mike Plant. It was the 2 boats which were not French. And I arrive here on the pontoon here, and I just say to the harbor, I am entering in the Vendée Globe. I am arriving. Where I go? You are arriving now, say? Yes, it is on the race rules. So they call the people. They call Monsieur Ruchot and the people involved in the Vendée Globe. They arrive here and they say, "But you are so early." I say, "No, I am not early. Look, the race rules. We must be there today. It is the limit today." So I say, and we were supposed in the race rules that we have a room somewhere. As they say, oh yes. So they phone a hotel there, and we go in a hotel for the first night. They are absolutely not waiting for us, and the last one arrived 3 weeks before the start.
All right. So that's the interesting part of history. So you do the Vendée, and that one you came third. You came third, so that was pretty good. And then you thought...
Yes, it was funny because I had one more time no money. And the boat...
It was a good boat though.
So I asked Philippe Harley, who designed Le Gros Plan and so on, to make a boat like Let's Go. So narrow, light, and not complicated. And and he makes that, and I had no money for that. So the yard, I was supposed at the beginning to build that in plywood. And
you're sounding like Matessian now.
And the owner of the yard in Condé-sur-Noireau, the Garcia brother, who owns the yard, were in Philippe Allais office for a design, and I meet them, and they say, "But you never arrive to find sponsor with a plywood boat that is old boats and it's finished plywood and so on. We are going to build your boat." So
that's how it happened.
It is what happened. So they make a very cheap boat. There was no roof. It was a
sheet plate, just a
no steering wheel.
No watertight door.
No
watertight door on the. I remember that bulkhead. It was just like, how do you get through it? I go on deck and I go that way.
yes, like on this one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And nobody gave me a chance to arrive. It was very funny on the pontoon, and before the start, people were laughing on my boat. Look at this boat.
Sounds a familiar story, eh? Anyway.
And I was 7 when I arrived in because the boat in light air. I have not so much mast. In light air, the boat was not going very fast. So when I go down the Atlantic, I was 7 in Cape Town. And after Cape Town, I go, and I go 7, 6, 5, and when I was and I passed Cape Town, I was second. And
everyone's
and I have no roller furling, and I have no. I just put the sails by hand with hooks and so on.
Why no furling? Because you couldn't afford it, or?
Yes, because I have no money.
Okay, that's cool.
And it is lighter.
Exactly.
So I change myself my cells by myself, and it was okay. I have no radar. I have no.
Nothing.
Just and I give the name 3615 3615 Met because people were opening a company for routing and for weather forecast. And they offer me to make the routing because the routing was allowed in the first Vendée Globe. They offer me to make the routing if I call my boat 3615 Met.
Okay, that's cool.
That's the story.
Very good. So okay. So then the next boat. The next one was the one you did the next BOC in.
No, so after that, when we were in the Indian Ocean, there was a company for Christmas who want to talk with boats, and I have a very good single sideband. And they called through Saint-Lys, and they asked us, the race committee asked us to be watching at 5 o'clock Saint-Lys Radio, and I was the only one who answered. And it was Elvim, this company. And after, when I come back, I say, well, I'm going to make a new boat and so on and so on. And the manager of Elvim says, come on and talk with us.
Because you were the one to get to speak to them. It's funny how it works. I hear so many little stories about circumstance that leads to a sponsor.
Yes.
It's
and most of the sponsor, it is when you meet the people. Not sending proposal by mail or by.
They got to understand who you are and how you work. No, I agree. Okay. So then you get the first red boat, and you end up on the beach.
That was in the BOC. So I entered with this boat in the Vendée Globe. And this boat was built with Alain Gautier's boat, and we were together from Lorient at that time. And he arrived first, I arrived second. And we are very friends. He was there when I leave. He was there when I come back. And I go to Lorient last week, and he was there. He's preparing a girl for the next Vendée Globe.
A what?
Alain Gauthier is preparing a girl.
I have a good Alain Gauthier story in Punta del Este in Uruguay. Do you remember the start? You were there reporting.
Yes, I was there.
And I got across the line first. I don't know if you remember this, but I was first boat across the line, and no one could catch me. I don't know why. I was sailing okay until about nearly 25 minutes later, and Alain Gauthier finally comes past with the boat. Anyway, a long story. So I was leading for quite a while. Anyway, you got to watch the video for that knockdown. Anyway, so that's cool. So, but the story. Then you ended up on the beach. Now it's an amazing story in itself, and the way I remember it, you fell asleep in the cockpit on a winch, trying to stay awake, and you went up on the beach. Rocks there. You parked it on the beach. and you got off. But what were you thinking because there's that classic iconic photo of you in the cockpit with the waves crashing and the boats going and so on. I don't know whether you can remember, what was going through your mind? This is after the event. You're on the beach. You know there's not a lot you can do. How are you? Try and describe what was going through your head.
For me, the race was finished.
Yeah.
For me, the race was finished. I was on the beach. I did not know how I can solve this problem.
Yeah. Did you think you were going to lose the boat?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the boat. There was 2 helicopters. One who wanted to
take you off.
Me.
Yeah. You could have swam ashore. You could have walked.
It is why I'm telling you. I don't need you. I just have to go to the beach.
Anyway, it's good that
so
they were there.
There is a man who come, an Australian guy who come. Yeah. And helped me to put down the sails and to tie up the sails.
Yeah.
And the police arrived with the boat, and there was some surfers there.
Yeah, that's the lifesavers.
And one of the surfers come and pick up the rope from the line from the police boat.
Yeah.
But it was too short, and we make a knot.
Yeah, with your.
And when they tried to track the boat, the knot break, and the boat come back to the beach.
Yeah.
So I tell them to go slower. I tell them we have to wait
for the wave.
Big waves.
Yeah, big waves.
And I tell you when you can go, and but don't go too fast because he has a 600 horsepower
big
engine.
one.
On my boat, I manage the boat with an outboard of 9 horsepower. You know? So we have no engine at that time on the boat.
Yeah.
So I have no solution to go away from the beach.
Yeah.
So another man come back with a rope, and I tied up the rope. I prepare on my boat a rope in case of somebody will be obliged to tow me. I have a special point in front of the boat to tow me, and I fix the rope on that and
off.
And they arrived to.
Yeah, it was an amazing scene. I'll never forget it because
so I thought that the boat will be cracked and I have water inside and so on. I say, well, there is a hole in the hull and so on.
There's nothing.
And so I say to the race committee, I stop the race and so on. He says,
but why?
Why? You are allowed to be towed in this race
certain distance.
when you are at, I don't remember the race rule exactly. We are going to see your hull in the harbour, so the police bring me in
Botany Bay.
Port Kembla.
Botany Bay.
And diver go,
and
they say the hull has nothing.
It's fine,
Because the keel was very strong because my keel was going to the deck,
cradle,
on the
model boats.
Yes,
model boats.
Through
the keel, through the hull,
to the deck.
Yeah.
So it was very strong, and the boat was like that, and boom.
Okay, so you're back in the race.
So I was back in the race. Plenty of people helped me in Sydney. And I can finish the race and arrive third.
I remember it well. I was getting ready to go to Antarctica for the year then. We couldn't help you because we were flat out on the boat, but it was an amazing story. Okay, so that was the boat then that you tried to do the first east-west on, and you had the delamination on the hull.
I had often delamination on this boat.
But was it the same side that you're on the beach? I've always wanted to ask you that. You know, when you were on the beach, do you think that caused the delamination? No,
I hit something in Falkland.
Okay, so that
I was in Falkland.
Just explain this. This was Jean-Luc's first attempt at the east-west record. Going the wrong way,
Yes. So I, when I was close to the Falkland, when I was going down the Atlantic, I was inside the boat and suddenly,
bang, crash.
And I go outside, I see nothing, and I continue, and in the middle of the Pacific, I see water in my first watertight bulkhead.
Yeah.
I say, oh la! I go outside and I see that it was
peeled
completely delaminated.
So it's
but
cracked.
When I arrive
skin.
in the Vendée Globe, it was the same thing. When I arrive here in the Vendée Globe, it was completely delaminated. It started to be delaminated, and it was before the skin outside was 2 millimeters.
Because it was carbon fibre, wasn't it?
No. I have no money to put carbon.
Oh, I can remember this image of black.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so just normal epoxy laminate.
It was epoxy and Divinycell.
Divinycell. Oh yeah.
And the layer outside was 2 millimeters. So anything at sea make it crack.
Yeah. Okay.
So in the Vendée Globe, the water start to come in before New Zealand, between Australia and New Zealand. I see water inside, and when I arrive here, I have more than 6 square meters.
You didn't know.
Outside.
You didn't know.
I know.
You knew. You just had to keep going.
Of water inside.
Bloody hell.
And when you see the picture of the boat was like that.
Yeah. Okay.
At the arriving.
So that was the second Vendée.
That was the second one.
And so then you decided to get serious and do the record. So you built the big boat.
Yes.
Yeah, and you had a sponsor to build the big boat, or you started? Yeah. Okay. That was Adrian, and some of you have seen the model because I was at your place and showed the big model and stuff. So that was cool. And we had a funny connection there when you were dismasted.
Yes.
And was that your first dismasting?
No. It was my second dismasting.
What was your first?
With Let's Go in Ile-Dieu. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, I was dismasted before the start of the BOC.
Yeah.
I capsized. I passed.
Hang on, this wasn't in the BOC.
No.
This was an event before the BOC.
It was yes. We were going to make a race in La Rochelle.
Yeah.
And we start. There was very, very bad weather, and I passed on an 8 meter of bottom.
A shoal.
Shallow water.
Shallow water. There's a big wave.
Only, and a big wave arrived, and the boat turned, and the mast
hit the bottom.
And the mast break. But the boat was very narrow, so we come back immediately.
Yeah.
And I was towed by the SNSM.
Yeah.
To the harbor.
Yeah.
And it was my first
dismasting. Okay. Hitting the bottom, that's fair enough. The rigger can't do much for that.
And so the second one.
In Adrian.
So in Adrien, the first attempt after the Cap Horn, my keel started to move.
Yeah.
So I was obliged to stop and to go back here and to reinforce the bottom of the boat, which was it was 10 millimeters of thickness, and we passed 20 millimeters of thickness.
And it created a hard point.
And we have to go very far
gently
from that to reduce.
Okay. Yeah.
And my third attempt,
so each
one with Adrien. I break the mast south of Australia.
Yeah, okay.
And it is when you come and...
we were down there in our little ship, and because we hadn't spoken for probably 4 or 5 years. We're good friends, and then I hear someone sends me a message, says, hey, your mate's down there, you got no mast, and we were about 500 miles away in our little ship just off the coast of Antarctica, and I thought, I've got to get... And I finally called someone back here and said, get him a message, and you said, no, I'm okay, and I'm going to sail to Australia or New Zealand. And so he said, okay.
At the beginning, I thought to go to Melbourne, but the wind was too much west.
Yeah.
So I missed Melbourne.
Yeah.
There was David Adams in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I say, I'm going to Hobart.
Exactly.
But if I miss Hobart, I will go to New Zealand.
So we went out and picked up the last 20 miles or something or whatever and brought you in. But then there's
in the storm
exactly. Bay. It was good fun. Yeah, it was a funny story.
And with the helicopter?
Yeah, we had a helicopter then too. It's a long story. We lent it to your photographer. So we went out in the ship, and Dave Price, who you may remember before, he was the boatman because we were on the ship. And anyway, we picked up and brought you back. But then the funniest story, there's a funny story with Jean-Luc and I. We lived together for 5 or 6 weeks while we fixed the boat, but you got quotes for shipping and freighting it back was too expensive, and it was an onion ship. So in the end, you decided to build a water pipe mast, a steel mast, and sail it home. Yeah. So it was an incredible story. You know, just quickly because they're probably sick of it.
He find me a factory who
worked on our ship, repairs the ship.
Yes, and they had 4 pipes.
Yeah, steel pipes.
15 centimeters of diameter outside.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
And with 6 meters each.
Yeah.
And with the 3, so it was 18 meters mast.
Yeah.
And with the 4th piece, we make I don't know.
Sleeve.
To
make the bottom bit stronger.
Yes.
Yeah. And built this steel mast. It was. If a jury rig was here, the steel water pipe mast was there, but the real carbon mast is up here. And then you sailed it non-stop from Hobart all the way back around Cape Horn and back home again.
Yes, with a friend, with somebody that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Jean-Marie Patier, who is now a friend.
He's now got your red boat.
Yes, and he buy last year my red boat.
Yeah.
And he was in the Route du Rhum with my red boat.
Yeah.
And I present him to Catherine Chabot, who was in the Vendée Globe with my red boat also.
Yeah.
And they are married, they have kids and so on.
It's a very small circle. Okay, so that was the second attempt. So you brought it back here.
It was the second attempt.
In that boat, in Adrian.
With this boat, yes.
Yeah, but the third attempt in total, and you still hadn't got there. So new mast, new ideas, take off again, and you finally did it. And you still hold the record.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
It is the only record which is owned by a monohull today.
Yeah.
The
only record.
Yeah.
By a monohull.
All the record today belong to monohull.
Yeah.
To multi-hull, sorry.
Yeah.
And this one is still belonging to a monohull. Okay. So there was some attempts with the multi-hull. Last one was Frenchman Yves Vdh with Actual. Start 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But he breaks the boat.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Yep.
So anyway. I am waiting for somebody breaking my.
Dare them. Give him a dare. Come on. He's an old man now. He's still.
So there is Yvan Bourgnon. Yvan Bourgnon tried to find the money to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was then that was when you finally did it. That was sort of like not the end, but it was like
it was the end.
It's fine. It's the end. And then along comes the GGR.
So it is Jean-Marie Patier, the man who brings the Adrien with me.
Yeah.
Jean-Marie Patier send me a message.
Yes.
On my computer, I saw this is for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
So I opened the file.
Yeah.
And it was the GGR. I said,
well, you know
what
happened.
An idea. Why I do not have this idea before him?
He's plenty of problems. It's probably a good thing, but it was so funny because here's the deal. You know, we've all got mates, and when we had the concept, I thought, I'll tell a few people and see what they think, and I had a list of the people to think.
And I was not in your list.
No, you were on the list, but there was Mark Schrader and there was Herb McCormack and all this stuff. And you were then I said tick tick tick. Came to you and said no, he will enter. I didn't want to tell you because I figured you would enter, and it was so funny when we announced it straight after. Hey, why didn't you tell me? Yes. Anyway, it was very funny. So that's history. What else am I going to talk about? Okay, so we got on the beach and thingo. I got to say, one thing I got to say is it's funny how this has worked out with the GGR. I've actually learned a few things from you about rigging and sails and a few other things, which we started talking about years before. You took very few sails, right? You took like 7 sails?
No. I took 11.
11? Oh, hang on. What sails did you have?
So I have the 2 sails for jury rig.
Yeah, storm
storm
jib
and
a trysail.
Trysail, yes.
Oh, I didn't know you had the trysail on
Yes,
board.
for the jury rig.
Just for the jury rig.
So
okay.
I have two sails for that.
Yeah.
So I have a mainsail.
Yeah.
I have a Genoa.
Yeah.
I have a staysail.
Yeah.
I have two spinnaker symmetrical.
Yeah.
Yes. One spinnaker asymmetrical.
Right.
And a big gennaker.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is 9. So I have 9
9.
sails.
Yeah. I didn't
How
think
much
it was a
we
full
were
up.
allowed to have?
You could have
10.
No, I think it was 11. It was 11.
No,
and 13 for a 2-mast. I forget now.
But
anyway, I thought it was
12
a lot less.
for 2 masts and 10 for 1 mast.
I don't know. We'll have a look later. We'll argue later on that. It's more than I thought, because I remember I thought you only just taking one mainsail, no trysail.
Yes, no, I take 1 mainsail.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
The mainsail I cannot use the storm mainsail. I cannot use it on my mast. It was just for the jury rig.
Oh, the trysail. You couldn't put it on the mast. You didn't have a track.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. So
I
and
have
your
7
sails.
sails. I have 7 sails. If you don't take my mainsail and my
The trysail and the storm jib.
Yes. If you don't take my
Okay.
Yes.
So
and I have what we call a Genoa Belge.
A Genoa Belge.
You don't know what is that?
No.
It is.
I'll show you the drawing in a minute.
So
it's the one that opens up, the 2.
No. It is like a jib.
Yeah.
With plenty. It is like something like a net.
Oh, for the spinnaker to stop the spinnaker wraps.
And it is just to stop. With hole inside.
People have asked me about that, and they said no, it's a sail and it's got these holes, and they're all mystified. And I said it's got to be the same as the spinnaker net, you know.
I use that to prevent when I am sleeping that the spinnaker go around the headstay and so on.
Okay.
And it was I always had that on my boat after the mini transat, after the first mini transat. Because when you are obliged to climb the mast to and when
so you think this is better than a net? You think it's better than a net, or you get some drive from this too?
It's okay. It's the
same thing.
Yeah. Okay. And when it was very funny when I received that for the first Vendée Globe.
Yeah.
I received that very late.
Yeah.
And
people thought it was secret sail.
Yes. people
That's what they think. This one.
Look for
secret sail
for big weather. Look what they have. They have a sail with plenty of holes.
Okay. Yep, I got that one. That's all right. Okay, but your sails lasted really well. You didn't damage really any sails.
Yeah, I damaged a little bit my Genoa, but I repair it on the spreader.
Just chafe on the spreader.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I make a sewing, and I make a little crack on putting down my spinnaker, but I repair it also. And I never use the second spinnaker.
Yeah.
The second spinnaker is a new one.
Spare, just in case. Okay. You look really good after the race.
Thank you.
So, it's okay, darling. but how? Just in a few words, describe your recovery. Like, you know, did it take a few days, or both physically and like sleeping and things like that? I
had absolutely no problem. The first night, I spent the first night singing.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that. Yeah.
After my only problem is that I awake in the night.
A lot. Yeah.
I awake twice, 3 times at the beginning, 3 times each night.
Yeah.
Because I used to sleep during only 1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
And just to wake to see if everything is okay, and I can go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But I take this routine, and now this night there was a strong wind.
Yeah. It feels good.
and I sleep completely. I do not
do
work
the
this
same.
night.
There's something very cozy about when it's blowing like crazy. We had another big storm here last night as well. It's quite a cozy feeling. I know exactly what you mean.
So I slept very well last night. So my wife, Odile, cannot sleep. And this morning she said, I cannot sleep. I said, well, it is one of the first nights that I sleep all the night without problem.
Okay, so we just had a good laugh about the anti-fouling situation just before we come on live here, because there's lots of stories going around this, that, and the other, and I know that it is normal paint, right?
Yes.
And you know it's normal paint.
And that anybody can buy in La Rochelle. In All Grip. AWLGRIP. All Grip. And it is Jetsi, and I put 3 layers of Shogun. Each day, 3 layers. And the last one was platinum, which is auto-erodable, it's a paint to go away. The other one is a paint with auto-polissant. The difference is the other one does not go away, but it is smooth.
Okay, so we explained that on Facebook just after you got back when you told us. But 2 things I'd just add in there because people are interested in this. It was obvious to me that now in hindsight that we're getting the stories from all the entrants with problems. You seem to be the only one that placed serious emphasis on the importance of doing anti-fouling and doing it right, because the stories we're hearing are horrific. Mark Sinclair anti-fouled his boat in Australia, put it on a ship through the tropics everywhere, brought it to England and just launched it, and that was it. And that sounds strange for most types of anti-fouling. We got the story about Mark Slats, he's got copper coat on there, but apparently it might not have been applied so well, because they applied a few coats thinking they'd save some weight maybe or whatever, and then left it for 4 or 5 weeks and they thought, we need some more, so they got a bit more, applied a bit more, and you got to do it all in one hit, otherwise the copper doesn't bond, and then apparently the total number of coverage might not be right, and of course poor Tapio, he just ordered the right stuff but they delivered and applied the wrong stuff, and then Igor, they launched the boat just before
even Tapio, his anti-fouling is under his waterline.
It's below.
You cannot see any
right
anti-fouling. When we arrived in England, the anti-fouling was not under, and after he put weight and
it's gone again. And Igor lifted the boat, washed the hull down, washed all the good anti-fouling off, and just put it in the water again. Most of them had little issues that didn't go right. But the interesting one was, and some of you might not have seen this, but you had the bag on your hull here.
Yes.
Two bags.
One in the front.
It used to be done in Australia a long time ago. In fact, most racing sailors did it. They'd put their boat in the pen, put it in a bag, and put chlorine in the water. But you did it for a completely different reason, like the bag. Right? You want to explain what the reason was? Pretty simple.
Just to avoid, we start the 1st of July, so the boat stay here from 15th of July to 30th of July. So the sun is going on the hull, so if you put a bag, there is no sun, it is shadow inside, so
there's no growth.
And also the harbour is very dirty. All the harbour are very dirty. So you can see the boat. It was absolutely clean when I arrived. Now, after 1 month, you start to see little
the
things.
The silt just settles on it, and then there's things in the silt, and it goes.
And after, the anti-fouling is not.
So it was the sun and the water flow, and it really makes sense, because I've had a lot of boats, like a lot of people, and I'm always, even when you're cruising, if you're anchoring in a particular breeze, like southeast, you'll always get more growth on the side that's got the sun on it. So how
anybody can
absolutely
see that.
So that's the first revelation publicly of the bag. bag. You know, most people, because we were laughing, Jane and I used to joke, it's nothing bad in the paint, it's just curry powder, and magazines reported you had curry powder, and then they said, I had the bag, you're putting chlorine in, you know, all that stuff. It's not, it's just really smart common sense. Keep the sun off it and stop the bloody silt forming on the hull. So there you go.
And I was not allowed to do that. I was not alone to do that. In the Vendée Globe, for example, comment il s'appelle? Those we arrive second or third in the last Vendée Globe, he has to do that also to prevent. Most of the time, the wind is coming from the west in the harbour. So all the rubbish are coming there, and it is why the boat, when they are here, and also with the Schnoo, the river which is here, when they open the gate,
it floods the silt through.
You can see the boat, they are very, very dirty when they open the gate. So I do that to prevent the hull to be
exactly
dirty.
And before the harbour master and poor old Yannick has a heart attack, when we talk about rubbish in the harbour, it's not plastic and bloody, it's the silt. There's the high tidal flow here, and there's a big inland river that they've sort of blocked off, and when they open it up about every 3 or 4 days to mimic the tides, to make sure all the biology there is acting right, but it brings a lot of mud and sort of silt. It's very what we call suspended colloidal contaminants in the water, like all the bits. It's not like crystal clear water. Although we had a seal here, a seal pup here.
Yes,
it's pretty cool. He's been here every day. It's quite cool. Yeah. So the water's actually clean, but it's just dirty. It's hard to say. So that was pretty cool. Okay, so what are we running out of things to talk about? No, you're okay. So what's next? Don't tell me you're going to retire. What's next?
Next is I don't know, the special house for old people.
Oh, something like that. Yeah. No, that'll never happen. You know, you got to. So you got the book to write. So you're writing the book.
Yes,
film. Is the book just the book on the GGR? I know the film is different. Is the book just the GGR, or is it another of your life?
They are making a film of portrait, which is a film from my life.
Yeah, profile, like a whole thing.
France 3. Yeah. For the television.
From school teacher to winner of the GGR. Or from a child to a retirement home.
Yes. And I make my own film for the conference that I have to do in the
speaking conferences.
So we are making that right now, and I start the book also. The book will be for October, November.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's good.
So it's some work. And I am looking, if I sell the boat, I am looking after another one.
Yeah. Cruising boat, multi-hull, a lagoon?
No, a boat to be able to enter in a regatta and cruising also.
Yeah, cool.
Monohull, just for racing and cruising.
Yeah. Yep, that's cool. So tell me, did it feel good to win? I thought you're actually. You've had so many arrivals here in Les Sables d'Olonne, and I know it was a great relief to get in. You know, this is the GGR, and you were first, and a lot of pressure and tension. You know, with Mark bearing down, this, that, and the other. And I know it obviously felt good to win, but how good did it feel? Like, was it the culmination of did it take you back to Mcintyre? You know, or was it just like another win? You know, or a was it different?
It's not like another win, because it's a long race and you have time to think, and it is not like when I win a regatta for the Sunday here. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was not for me. I have absolutely no pressure.
Yeah.
I have no pressure for the sponsor. I have no pressure for anything. I am not a young guy who wants to make a
prove
promotion
himself to
and
get going.
to climb steps and steps and steps.
Yeah.
I just have no pressure. If I arrive second or third, it will be second or third.
Yeah.
But I am a competitor also, and I wanted to arrive first for sure.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I am very young.
Yeah.
The problem is when I see my identity card.
I'm glad to hear this.
And when I see my muscles and
yeah, you got to get rid of the mirrors.
I am a little bit older, but for me, I am younger than you.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I often tell people this, but it's true. From my eyes looking at the world, nothing's changed since I got to about 28. you know you're a teenager, and you know you've got all these new things happening, and you know there's a whole big world. And then I got married when I was 28, and it's sort of that's cool. It didn't stop there, but it stopped there, and then the world's the same. There's all these things happening and opportunity, and then you look at the clock and you think, oh, I only got a few years to go, and you do, and so that's interesting.
And I think this morning I have interview with a German magazine.
Yeah.
And they asked me, but what is the main thing for an old man like you? I say, it's the mind.
Exactly.
It's just in my head.
Yeah.
She says, but can you climb the mast? You are 73. I say, well, I have no choice. If I want to finish, I have to climb the mast.
Yeah.
So I climb the mast.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
But my head say you have to do it. So if I was 40 or 50, probably I can climb 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
Here I climb once a day. And that was enough. Exactly. But also I forget nothing. When I was younger, I climb. Oh shit! I forget something. I have to go down. And now I.
Not to forget. That's the
I prefer to wait half an hour more and to forget absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Life changes, eh? That's so very true.
You learn more when you are older. You have more experience. You have. I think for sure physically I am less optimistic than 20 years ago, but in my mind I knew more things. I make less mistake than 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that I have been 6 times now around the world is an advantage, because I know the weather. I know the.
I tried to describe that midstream during the race. People were saying, "John, look at him," and I tried to explain that to people that that's your world. So what you're coping with then is the day to day, whereas a lot of the other entrants were not only coping with the day to day, but a whole new world. And there's a big difference. So
yes, it is.
It
is like Robin.
Yeah.
Because Robin, people say how it is possible that you was 100 days under Robin. They say Robin, he was the first one to do that. It is an extraordinary thing to be the first one to do that with his boat, because his boat was not a Rustler 36. He was not so fast and with plenty of problems, but he solved his problem. He didn't want to start with his boat. He wanted to try to find sponsors at that time, but as he cannot find any sponsor, he started with the boat, and it was a surprise that, for example, the boat of Caruso was
fantastic.
A lot better than.
You look at that boat now and you think that boat could have done any of the BOCs It's quite a way ahead of its time.
I talked with him. I sent him a letter yesterday. I write him a letter because he sent me a letter that I had to open for the 25th of December. And I answer him and I send him a letter.
It's an amazing story which I didn't fully appreciate until I met him. Because you tend to, when you read about it, you brush it off. Oh, he didn't make it, and then I looked at his boat and thought, "Holy dooly!"
At that time, I followed all the boats, and for me, it was my favorite. For me, it was the best boat to do that. But unfortunately, he was ill, and
Yeah, amazing story. The other funny thing about the original 1968 Golden Globe was because Suhaili won, and I was just coming into sailing then, and you tend to have this vision that was a little old boat. But every now and then I see like the Admiral's Cup boats of 1968 and all that stuff. I think,
yes,
they're hot boats. There were a lot of really fast, well-designed boats in 1968, and if any of them had have decided to do the Golden Globe,
he win.
They would have just killed it, eaten it.
And
so you have this misconception, and it comes down to there was the yachting establishment doing their circles, and then there were the true grit adventurers that wanted to go out there and do it, and it's cheese and chalk, eh? And it's the same today. It really is. There's a different mentality about this whole thing.
But boat, for example, boat like Let's Go exists in '68.
Yeah.
So if I enter in the race with Let's Go in '68,
bye bye. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay. So what's your impression of the GGR going forward? You know what I mean? Like, where do you think it'll be where do you think it'll be in, say, 3 or 4 future editions?
First, I cannot understand that there is no sponsor who come. I think it is unbelievable that there is no sponsor in this race. I think the sponsor must be behind the door, please.
Yeah, I must
because there is so many countries who do that, so many countries who follow that, so many countries who ask my arriving, film of my arriving. Yeah. My son tell me that he has a friend in Mexico who see me in the television. So there is the people like this race because they like the human side of this race. Going without the new technology. Today the boat, it is another race. You cannot compare the Vendée Globe or the big multi-hull races. Here, our cockpit are not like a Boeing 747. You have to be back to the nature with your sextant and to check your road, and it is completely different. And so the first advantage of the race, anybody can do that because it is production boat. It is very cheap. You don't need to have 1 million francs, 1 million euro to do that. You can enter in this race with 200, 300. I don't think in this race. I don't think anybody has more than 400 euro. 400,000.
No one's close. No, I don't know what you spent, but
you're less than that.
Oh yeah, well, no, you can. We've
Suzy, perhaps she spend money, or Antoine Couzeau, she spend money.
A couple of 100,000 euros, heaps. You could do it for 120,000. You can do it 120,000. You can get a good boat, refit it, entry fee, safety gear, and go. So it depends, different levels.
But it is very easy to find money for that if you. So there will be, you will have probably problems because next time there will be more entrants. And so there is a selection who must be done if there is more entrants. Like in the Vendée Globe, at the beginning in the Vendée Globe we were 13 on the first Vendée Globe. Now they say we stop at 27 or we stop at
30 or whatever.
And I think this race is going to grow up, and I am sure, and I am sure also that this race is for a long time, because, for example, the Vendée Globe, if one day there is a big multi-hull who do the race well, the Vendée Globe will be like the BOC. The BOC, for example, is stopped. Why? Because there was the Vendée Globe. Because there is always other people who want to go faster, and it costs more and more and more. Today, the big multi-hull, I saw I saw Sodebo yesterday going outside the yard. I don't know the price, but
10 million euro. They say I saw it written.
10 million.
10 million euro.
Yes, but this
huge.
is just for the boat.
Yeah.
But after there is a crew to prepare the boat and so on. And each year you have the sales and so on.
Yeah.
And with 10 million euro, you can have all the fleet of the GGR during 3 years.
They could sponsor us for 3 or 4 editions, maybe. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's the human is like that. He always want to go faster and faster and faster. And when they jump, they want to jump higher and higher.
I must admit that's the beauty, because like now, I believe your boat is sold, but that boat is competitive for the next race. All the boats are the same. You don't have to get a bigger and better and faster boat. And it's sort of like going, you're already slow, but you go as fast as you can slow.
Yes.
And we don't have to go higher. We're already down. We've got our place.
That is why it is a nice competition, because everybody is able to win. There was six wrestlers, 36 at the beginning. Why I arrived before the other one? Because I take a better road and I go faster. My boat is going at the same speed than Uku, who is arriving to next.
Now tell me, there's got to be boats faster than a Rustler. Or as good as a Rustler, I should say, not faster.
I hesitate even after I bought the Rustler. For me, the Gaia was the fastest boat.
Yeah.
But he was not well prepared.
Yeah, he was too short.
But if I prepare the Gaia, the problem is the Gaia is very narrow. So you must be very careful of the weight.
The weight and things,
inside, you must not start with. You must have dehydrated food to be as light as possible. You must have a light mast. You must have. He has big mast, big rigging. Everything. He reinforces hull. He's reinforced everything.
I reckon.
So the boat was too heavy. But if you prepare the boat with time, because he has no time also. If you prepare the boat with time and so on, I think, and with a good anti-fouling also.
That helps.
I think this boat is very, very good. And if there is not this story of weight, because we have to take about 1 ton of weight to go around the world. If you make something to be sure to catch
approach.
water and so on, I think this boat is a good boat.
I think all I'm getting at there is that everyone, because you're in a Rustler and because Mark's in a Rustler and because Uku's in a Rustler and all the rest of it, everyone thinks, it's a Rustler. Nothing wrong with a Rustler. Beautiful boat. But the thing is, there's other opportunities out there, you know.
Sure.
And there's other boats that can do it, but it's the combination, planning, preparation, execution, all that stuff. So
and also, for example, when you most of the boat who has problem, for example, they had problems with the wind van.
Exactly.
So they put
crazy.
wind van which are not good enough. And if you see all the problem at the beginning with the wind van, it's unbelievable. And also the capsize. The capsize, when all the boat who capsized, they lost the mast.
I
was
amazing.
The only one who capsized and who still have the mast. Even if I have a crack of 5 centimeters.
And we were having such a good race. Just before it all happened, like there was Abelish, there was Gregor, there was Mark, all on top of each other, there was you. And so the concept of the race was working, but for some reason we lost all the masts. Anyway, I think we're about to break a record and probably go over an hour. So I think we better chat. Jane's given us the wrap up there. So it's been fantastic, Hard to believe it's all coming to an end, but anyway, there's still lots of things going on. We got we got Uku coming in and stuff like that. So all very good. So we'll see you again later on. Thanks for that. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Dan.
Very good. See ya.